All right. Here we go. Another edition of Talkin Dodgers, brought to you by Rot Your Brain Media and sponsored by Command Creative Studios. Looking to jump into the podcast world and start making your own content? Command Creative Studios is your one-stop shop for professional podcasts. With a team of audio engineers, music composers, and graphic designers, Command Creative Studios can get your podcast sounding professional as well as looking professional. For more information, please visit commandcreativestudios.com. Don't forget to click that like or subscribe button. Help us spread like a virus.
Like a virus.
This is what's on our player spotlight deck. We're gonna preview the World Series, Yankees versus Dodgers. We're gonna talk Flaherty versus Cole Game 1, Yamamoto versus Randon Game 2. Who's on the World Series roster and who's not. But first, we're gonna talk about the legend Fernando Valenzuela. Just really quick, we're gonna touch base on this. So it's no secret anymore. Fernando Valenzuela died on October 22nd from what I believe was liver cancer. He was had one of the most memorable rookie seasons of any pitcher in 1981. He was Rookie of the Year, won the Cy Young Award, and won the World Series. He's the biggest reason why. Basically, the Hispanic community is diehard Dodger fans from Fernando Mania. A lot of us were pretty young to witness it at all. I believe I was 1 year old. Max might have been 10. No.
10? I was 4 months from being born in that October.
Right. So Fernando Mania, Fernando Valenzuela, like that whole legend that he was, we grew up with that. So it was already there. You know what I mean? I remember my dad talking a lot about him, my grandfather talking a lot about him, the impact that he had. He was a 6-time All-Star, 5-time Player of the Week, 3-time Player of the Month. I believe he started his first 8 games in 81. I believe they were all complete games. He had some ridiculous stat. Let me see. This is more like, this is back in the day, so it was more common to have complete games, but let's see. He had a total of 113 complete games. Did you guys know that?
Ridiculous.
No.
That is insane.
Wow. I had no idea.
And I know that he's not in the Hall of Fame, and a lot of people have talked about why they think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I know he didn't play long enough he didn't have the career numbers to be in the Hall of Fame. I think Max, you were talking about how when he was hot for 5 years, maybe 6 years. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball and kind of fizzled out a little bit like a lot of players do. But one thing that he did that a lot of other players can't say they did, maybe Jackie Robinson, and I can't think of really Hideo Nomo maybe, but the impact that they had on a culture that Fernando had was incredible. Just for those
Fernando Mania, dude.
For that reason alone, I think maybe he should be in the Hall of Fame. I do think that the Dodgers probably knew that he was a little bit sicker than was led to. I feel like they knew before this season started. That's why they retired his number. Yeah. So that way he could at least see it.
Wasn't he broadcasting?
Oh yeah, he was main broadcaster.
Broadcasting.
He was color commentary for Jaime. I can't remember his name. Should know that one. But anyways, yeah, he's been part of the organization for a while. He played for the Dodgers. What was it, for 10 years? Bounced around. He went to California Angels, Baltimore, Philadelphia, San Diego. But he was always like, nobody remembers him playing for any of those other teams. People remember him as a Dodger, as they should.
And they remember, to go full circle on the eve of the World Series, in 81, the Dodgers beat the Yankees 4-2, and he was a key part of that. Yeah,
and his number will be on all the Dodgers jerseys for the World Series, 34. So, yeah. Do you guys want to add anything to that segment really quick? If not, we're gonna move on.
No, just rest in peace to Fernando Valenzuela. Our condolences, obviously, to his family. And, we've heard a lot on the news of how many people he impacted within that clubhouse when he was part of the Dodgers. I know Dusty Baker had a lot of great things to say about him today.
Steve Sachs did also, yeah.
Steve Sachs did, too. I wasn't old enough to experience what was Fernando Mania. I was 1 year old back then, but the folklore of Fernando Mania in the LA community and the Dodger community is, everybody knows what it is and what it's about. He brought a culture and the Mexican heritage, really rooting for the Dodgers, and I think he was one of the pioneers of, having somebody from another country be celebrated as a star. I think
in baseball. Yeah.
in baseball,
No.
pioneer in that sense. Again, well respected, played the game the right way. Didn't really have any trouble off the field. Always had a smile on his face, and just iconic Los Angeles Dodger.
You said it. I mean, I don't want to say I'm a historian, but I do value the history of baseball, and his impact, is, like you said, as impactful as Roberto Clemente, Jackie Robinson, Nomo, and guys like that. But on the field, like you said, when he was hot, it was like as hot as some of the greats, Doc Gooden, Bob Gibson. He was great. The other thing with the World Series, if you guys go back, the Yankees were up 2-0 in that World Series, and he pitched Game 3. If he didn't come through with that, solid performance, and let's say that series is over, so they don't win that 81 series that went 4-2. Yeah, they won in 6 or 7. So I got to look it up, but his win in that Game 3 was pivotal to coming back, being down 0-2. So
yeah,
huge.
All right.
I think he was actually a good hitter too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was known to be a good hitter. Actually, I have his stats right here. Let's see.
It was 4-2. Yeah.
Let's see how many home runs he hit, because everybody wants to know how many. It's a fun thing. How many home runs did your pitcher hit? And let's see. Oh, come on! He doesn't show me the home runs.
Fernando.
Get out of here.
I don't know if he hit any. Did he?
Hold on, I'm at the wrong thing. Let me look real fast.
I can pull it up.
I'm gonna beat you. Hold on. Batting. Here we go. Boom. Found it.
I had
home
it.
runs.
I just let you win that.
He had 10 career home runs.
Really?
For a starting pitcher, that's pretty good.
He had 10 homers? That's
10 homers.
awesome.
He had a career batting average of just 200. His highest batting average that I think he had in a season is 250. He hit 250 twice. No, I'm sorry. 304.
Extremely respectable.
In 1990. He didn't have, let me see how many bats he had. He had 69 at bats as a pitcher. I mean, that's normally it's like around like 100 or something like that back then, if you're a starting pitcher throughout the season. Hey, 200 for a pitcher, that's not terrible. Is it?
No,
I don't know. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
Really good.
But 10 home runs for a starting pitcher. He did have 1 triple, 26 doubles.
He hit a triple?
He had one triple his rookie year. 1 triple his rookie year.
That's awesome.
I bet you that all fueled. I mean, if we were alive then, can you imagine that, man?
Yeah.
That all probably just fueled the legend that was
Fernando Valenzuela.
Yeah. Fernando Valenzuela.
There you go.
Rest in peace, Fernando. Hopefully you're I don't know what you'd say.
You're hanging out with Tommy Lasorda and Vin Scully right now.
Yeah, keep a good eye on our Dodgers and get us through to get us a World Series ring this year.
Right on, right on. All right, let's.
Hey, did you guys catch Robbie's Matthew McConaughey intro?
I've been doing that.
All right.
I've been doing that the whole time, and no one said anything yet.
I know,
all right,
just
all
on
right,
caught
all
it.
right.
All right. You got to keep on living. LIVIN.
All right, so let's move on to something
Days
that's a little.
Confused, great movie.
It is.
Let's move on to something that's a little weird, but we're going to talk about. I'm just going to talk about it for a second. I think the three of us just talked about this before I clicked record. I think one of the worst things that Major League Baseball has done is allow television to broadcast the strike zone. So if we're not going to go full robot yet, it's kind of a little messed up. So now looking at the umpires they have scheduled from Game 1 to Game 7, they're some of the worst ranked umpires in the league as far as like strike zone and stuff. So
is that from this year or all time?
I believe it's from just this year. It might not be from all time, but you got
because supposedly they choose it based on this year's, balls and strikes and other stuff.
Well, Andy Fletcher, Game 2, ranked 73rd.
Jeez, Al.
In calling a good game.
So how do they, Robbie, or either one of you, I don't know how they choose the umpires for the World Series.
There's a lot of factors, but one of the main factors is how accurate they are with balls and strikes. They use like StatCast and other metrics to see how accurate their balls and strikes were all year. Decision making, how they manage games and stuff like that. So they have their own like internal formula that they use to see who gets, the privilege to do the World Series.
So second question, is this crew have they been together as a crew all season, or is it? Do they pick the best of each? Meaning
they don't pick the best crew. It's the best individuals they usually do.
So, but don't.
That's a good question. Let me see.
So, I guess my question is: typically, you have the same guys together, right? When they're umpiring or refereeing, so they're used to each other. Or in this case, are you picking one individual that's better than the other, and almost like drafting an all-star team of umpires?
Yeah, it doesn't say anything while you were talking about them doing by group. It's really individual, and it's based on their performance in various aspects of the game. Accuracy, consistency, and decision makings are key factors in these assessments.
I guess it doesn't really matter. They just need to know the rules of the game and communicate the rule book.
And my whole thing with umpires is as long as they're consistent.
Yeah.
If you're going to call that outside strike, just call it all game long. Don't just freaking change it, depending on who's batting or which team's up, or now in the 7th inning you're not giving that call that you were giving the first.
Yeah,
that's
I agree with that. If that's gonna be your strike zone, stick to it.
That's it.
Yep.
All right, that's out of the way. Let's have some fun now. All right, so let's talk about key matchups. So Dodgers came out, they announced their pitching rotation, what it's going to look like. So you got Flaherty going game 1, Yamamoto going game 2. Those are the only for sure things. Everything after that, it's getting a little bit of mixed signals. So,
were you worried about Flaherty? I remember you were saying you were worried that
I'm worried about Flaherty.
His arm.
I have a feeling there's a contingency plan for Flaherty if his arm is dead. But if his arm is also as dead as I think it was, I don't think they would still have him pitching game 1. I feel like they would have figured something else out. Maybe moved Yamamoto up because they have it, and then you move. I think they would have been more open about it.
But wouldn't you want to give him game 1 because that maximizes the amount of rest he would have for a second start, game 5? Because if you put him somewhere else, then he might run into a shorter rest period if he's going to pitch him twice.
Well, what they're doing with Buehler, I would have done, if you're worried about Flaherty's arm, I would have done what they're doing with Buehler right now, which is move Flaherty to 3 or game 4. So that way you're giving him even more time to rest his arm to get it healthy. But right now it's Flaherty 1, Yamamoto 2. And so right now with Buehler's the only other starting pitcher, then we know they're doing a bullpen game. So right now it says that Buehler's either going to pitch game 3 or game 4, or game 3 or 4 will be a bullpen game. So if Buehler pitches game 3, that means that he would be the game 7 pitcher.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
Right? I agree.
Yeah. But if Buehler pitches game 4, he is not. No. That means they'll do double bullpen. That means they'll do a bullpen game on game 3 and they'll do a bullpen game on game 7.
Oof. Or you throw him a short rest.
Or
it's game 7 of the World Series.
I hear you, Mike.
So
I don't get if you can give me an inning and an out, you're throwing, dude.
So this is why I think they might be leaning more towards the bullpen game, is because
that's a hell of a gamble against this Yankee lineup.
It's a hell of a gamble, but your bullpen's going to look your bullpen could look even better right now than it did for the National League Championship Series because you'll have Vessier back, and they're saying that you're going to have Gratterall back as well. So if you add Vessier and Gratterall to that lineup and you take out, the unforsures, the lesser talent, that's a pretty stacked lineup of reliable pitcher arms that you can match up pretty well going through that Yankee lineup. So I know Vessier for sure because David Vassay said it on his talk show thing tonight that Vessier is back.
Yeah, Vessier was interviewed today and he said he's back.
Yeah, but I don't think they've said for sure Gratterall.
No.
And so here's the other thing that I think that could be another pitcher is we still haven't heard much about Gonsolin. I still think that Gonsolin might be the safety net if Flaherty kind of falters a little bit in game 1.
And unfortunately, we don't know the roster yet. They're going to probably announce it tomorrow, but we'll know more tomorrow. Maybe when you guys make a little video.
I don't think Flaherty has an arm problem at all. I think he's battling a cold, and he just didn't pitch well in New York. I don't think that. I think he's fine.
Mike, you always talk about that swagger, right? There's 2 guys I would want in that game.
Buehler's
one would be Buehler, and because of his postseason success, and Flaherty, because they're going up against last year's Cy Young winner, the ace, and like Cole is going to be focused. Sometimes he's a little too focused and he gets in his own head, kind of like Peyton Manning. But he, you want somebody who's going to embrace that challenge in game one, right? And it's Flaherty and it's Buehler, so they're going with Flaherty.
I'd go with Flaherty.
He's a dog.
He's a dog. I would.
We got to say Yamamoto's got a little bit of that swag as well. We have to admit that.
He's starting to, yeah, absolutely.
Seen that. I think that's there as well.
I think in the NLCS series, I think it gave him a bit of confidence that he can play in this league and he could play with the best.
What do you mean? Also, yeah.
I'm saying, like, I think that what inning? What did he go? 5 innings in right? Am I wrong?
No, you went 5. You're talking about the Padres series?
Yeah.
No, you went 5 innings.
Yeah, and then I think that really helped his personality, well, just confidence and just a little bit of swagger that he can pitch well when he needs to in the playoffs, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think I like the matchup with Flaherty game 1, Yamamoto going game 2, Buehler game 3, because I still believe game 3 is a big game to win.
Swing. Yeah,
it's a swing game for sure.
We just talked about Fernando winning game 3, being down 0-2 or
because you're down 2-0, Buehler's pitching. Even if it's 1-1, I still want Buehler in game 3 to get us to 2-1.
Yeah,
but
I've told you guys before, the '90s Yankees, Joe Torre liked pitching Andy Pettitte game 3 because to him that was that pivotal point in the series, and Andy Pettitte would. If it got, to a game 6 or 7, he comes right back around, right?
I agree with that. I agree with that. In that strategy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're in the World Series, boys. Let's get it.
So I know on the Yankees side, they've already talked about, like you said, you got, Cole going game 1, Rodon going game 2. Rodon is an up and down kind of pitcher. One day he looks great. The next day, you don't know. He's one of those, you don't know what you're going to get, right?
Is he a lefty or righty? I don't know much about the Yankees at all.
He's a lefty. So the next guy out then is Clark Schmidt, who this year has pitched, when he's been healthy, he's been really good. He's only allowed like more than 3 runs once all year. So he's just crafty, he has a ton of pitches. But here's the thing, depending on how the series goes, they've talked about game 4 could even be Cole. Right now it's Luis Gil, flame-throwing right-hander. Heel had a great start to the season. He's kind of tapered down, but depending on how it goes, they could go Cole short rest for game 4. But right now the plan is for Heel to go game 4.
Let me ask you a question. So Cole and Rodon, both those guys rely a lot on swing and miss, right? They rely a lot of chase pitches, correct?
Yes, because previous years Cole has been susceptible to the long ball,
right? So
and Rodon for sure.
I feel like that's going to be the key to the Dodgers is those 2 pitchers relying a lot on trying to get our hitters to swing out of the strike zone. And one thing, and that's something that the Dodgers did really well against the Mets, is that they didn't swing at junk. They made those pitchers pitch to them in the strike zone. That's why they got so many walks. And
33 walks or something like that?
Yeah, because the Mets pitching staff is definitely looking like Manaea throws a lot of junk. He's changed the way he pitched from when he was in Oakland. So one of his things was to try to get people to chase, and he's had success all year round. But the Dodgers lineup is so deep and disciplined, it didn't work.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to be the key for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I think if the Dodgers can actually play that same kind of hitting technique, that same kind of plate discipline that they did against the Mets, I think that's in the Dodgers' favor, and I think that tips the scales a little bit in the favor of the Dodgers for starting pitchers. If you were to compare the pitchers, right now, I think the Yankees have a better starting rotation than the Dodgers do, but the Dodgers have a better bullpen than the Yankees do.
100%. Because the Dodgers, you guys are hurt. The pitching staff is hurt.
Right.
We talked about that a bunch of times. But
I think if the Dodgers play to their strength hitting-wise and the way that they handle themselves on the plate, I think that that's going to favor more towards the Dodgers themselves, and that'll take away that starting pitching threat that the Yankees have.
I'll tell you right now,
in my opinion,
if the Yankees win this series, it's because of their pitching, not necessarily their hitting. Mike, you mentioned
navigating
the Yankees batting order.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not as difficult as you think. They're top heavy. And Gleyber Torres, he's been hot recently. After he got benched for not hustling. but it's not like he's a world beater. And then you got the three guys to really look out for is Soto, Judge, and Stanton. After that, it is, I don't know, like Cleveland, I made fun of Cleveland off the air all the time. They kept pitching to Stanton, and they had Chaz Chisholm behind him, and Chaz has been lost at the plate. I don't see the Dodgers making that bonehead of mistake. And the manager of Cleveland said he would do it all over again. Then you're a fool, because why would you pitch to Stanton, who's always red hot in the playoffs, and everybody after Stanton on the Yankees lineup is subpar at best. I mean, are you afraid of Rizzo? Rizzo lost his pop. I'll tell you that right now. Chisholm's all over the map. Wells is a rookie. He's up and down, their catcher. Volpe is he played pretty well, but he's sporadic as well. So it's not like, and then Verdugo forgot how to hit doubles. So the Yankees' bottom half of their lineup is extremely, manageable for pitching thing. You just got to look out for Soto and Stanton, and if Judge decides to show up. So it's not as daunting as their lineup is not as
daunting as it looks on paper.
Yeah, it's not as circular as the Mets or the Padres lineup. Okay, it's top heavy. It's in that sense, yes, they're it's Judge, it's Soto, great, but 1 through 9, it's not the Dodgers lineup. The Dodgers, the Yankees can pitch around the top guys in the Dodgers, but what about Will Smith, Muncy, Hernandez, Tommy
Edman,
Kike. Like the Yankees don't have that. The Yankees had a super easy path to get here, whereas the Dodgers were battle tested. They played and dominated the Padres, who were the best second half team. They played and dominated the Mets, who were the best team after May. But consistently all year, the Dodgers have been the best team in baseball. Now, the Yankees' pitching is solid. That's the way they're going to win. So I don't think the lineup should scare you.
So it's funny, though, you talk about the lineup. Sorry, Mike, really fast.
That's
so
okay.
I got a video right now that Major League Baseball put together to compare position-wise. I know you don't like doing this, Max, but it's funny like how they came out and did this position thing. I'm going to show you this really fast. So it's on the TV right now. So check it out. So they've got, the Dodgers have the advantage of catcher spot with Will Smith. So the next one kind of baffled me a little bit. First base, right?
Because of Freeman's injury?
So Rizzo gets the advantage of first base, which was kind of a little shocking to me.
I'm not surprised at that.
You don't think that that doesn't shock you a little bit?
No.
I think it shocks me a lot because I'll tell you right now, Rizzo, first of all, he broke his hand a couple of weeks ago, so he's not 100%. He's been coming. He doesn't even play all. They sub him out with Cabrera and John Birdie's played a little first base, so he's not even their everyday first baseman, depending on the matchup and if they want some speed. So because Rizzo's lost his pop over the last couple of years, he's close to being washed. He's a great first baseman defensively. But he's not Freddie Freeman. I mean,
I think
check out right field. They gave it to Soto over Betts.
I can see that.
I can't see that because Betts is a better fielder.
Soto's
than
a
Soto.
gamer, dude. Like,
Betts,
I would say mentally, but because Betts sometimes he doesn't show up in the playoffs.
Correct.
I could accept that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would say Soto is this generation's, and I hate saying it, Mr. October.
Oh, I mean,
whoa!
What he did as what was he, 19, 20 years old in Nationals was really impressive. I looked at it the other day.
Yeah.
Actually,
everywhere he's been with the playoffs, he's showed out.
I mean, that is true. He doesn't.
I'm not saying he's to the second coming of Reggie Jackson, but I'm just saying
you're not far off, Mike.
He's somebody to be concerned about in the playoffs, dude. Like
I would say he's the one that I fear the most in that team as far as hitting, at least before
him and Stanton.
Before how Stanton's performed this playoff.
Yeah.
If you were to tell me that I would be fearing Stanton before the playoffs started, I wouldn't say. I would be like,
I would agree.
Yeah, I don't.
But
think
after that, out of the ALCS he just had
in 2019, a young Soto in the World Series batted .333. 438 on base percentage, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and a ridiculous OPS of 1.178.
The stage
That's
was
ridiculous.
The stage
what was it, 1920?
Yeah, the stage was not too big for him. It didn't phase him one bit.
Yeah, and that was versus Houston, right?
Yeah.
and they had a great pitching staff.
Absolutely.
I mean, Garrett Cole was on that pitching staff. I think he hit a home run off of Cole.
He did, deep in the seats.
Yeah, so
I see that
proven.
right now. He's
proven.
I say, yeah. So back to that, Robbie. I think Soto gets the advantage over Betts right now. I hate admitting that, but he's a ball player.
We'll see what happens. I think Betts is going into this series as well, kind of hot. Maybe not as hot as Soto, but I think what you're going to see that Soto can't provide is that elite defense in right field. And what I'm hoping is that because of the way that Betts plays in right field, that could result in obviously taking a couple runs. Where the way Soto plays, I've seen Soto make some bonehead moves in the outfield, but that can result in some extra runs.
Who is Betts a finalist for a Gold Glove?
He didn't play right field enough.
Well, guess who is in the American League?
Get out of here.
Juan Soto is a finalist.
No way.
For the Gold. You think I'm making this stuff up?
You gotta be.
I am not. And to be honest with you, he's a butcher out there. I don't know what metrics they're using, but he is a finalist for right field. I guess every team puts the worst out there in right field these days.
That was the left field you're supposed to put the worst.
Well, not in Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium left field has more room.
Tunnel?
No. Left field you have a lot of room to run. Right field you have the short porch, so you don't have to play that much. You don't have to cover that much ground. So in Yankee Stadium, it's the opposite. Your worst fielder is right field. Left field, you need somebody who can run and because it's more room to cover. So that's a little tidbit for you.
I will say this: coming into the World Series, Mookie Betts was the runner-up to getting the MVP in the NLCS. He's coming in as hot as any Dodger right now. So if he continues that streak at the plate and keeps hitting the way he is,
you think Mookie Betts is the runner-up in the NLCS?
Yeah,
over Muncy and Ohtani. Both Muncy and Ohtani broke records getting on base.
He had 3 straight games with homers, dude. Yeah, I think he was right up there. He was top 2 for sure, top 3. Absolutely, he was in the running for that.
Okay, I didn't go over the stats. I
just mean hitting wise. Yes, I know Muncy got on 13 times, but there was a big cloud over Betts's postseason hitting streak going into the Padres series, and he finally broke it open in the NLCS and started hitting really well. So,
Mike, you're right.
I just hope he feeds that into the World Series and he continues that confidence that he was showing the back half of the NLCS. Anyways.
I think that he broke through midway through the Padres series.
Agreed. I'm just saying, whatever was going on with him, he snapped out of it midway through the Padres series into the NLCS.
Yeah. That's why the Dodgers are scary right now.
Let's go. Win a World Series. I want to see it.
All right, this would be
You saw it in 2020. Actually, let me ask you both this question because it popped up in conversations back east. How do you guys view that 2020 World Series, and would this justify the current run because you guys weren't able to really celebrate because no parades and stuff in 2020?
Okay,
go ahead.
Mike, I'm gonna take this because and then you can jump on it, but I got to answer this first. Yes, that is 100% justified, and that to me, if the Dodgers would have won in 2018 or 2017, and then countered that with the 2020 World Series, I would say the 2020 World Series is more important than the 2017 or 2018 World Series because of the state of what the world was in and the state that I was in at that moment, and then how meaningful that was and how difficult. A lot of people were like, "Oh, it's the Disney championship. They were in a bubble, blah blah." They had to win more playoff games to get to the World Series. They had to. They were like, I feel like it was a lot. It was a harder path. And if you look at their win percentage in the regular season for that year, which I think they play 65, 69 games, something like that. I mean, obviously it was half of what a regular season was, but their win percentage was ridiculous. I think it was like in the 700s. Like they were like blowing through everybody. And let's just say that people might have gotten hurt. Let's just say some things might happen, but everybody was in the same exact situation as the Dodgers were. It wasn't just the Dodgers that was in the bubble. All the teams were in the bubble. So if anybody says anything about that not being a championship, they're full of themselves. The Dodgers should have 2 championships because I'm telling you, they would have won the 2017 championship World Series if it wasn't for the cheaters, the Astros. And that should just be, nobody should even question that because of that kind of crap. So, yeah,
Mike, you feel the same?
No.
Oh,
well, I gotta cut Mike's feed really fast.
No, I don't believe.
Go ahead, Mike. Your floor is yours.
I don't. Well, I can say that for the Lakers too in the bubble championship. Neither one of them count.
Oh, damn!
Wow.
Tell us how you really feel, man. Go ahead.
Well, yes, I agree in Robbie's assessment that it was difficult for Los Angeles and the Dodgers and a lot of people, but everybody was going through that. The whole country was. I think you needed Major League Baseball and winning titles is about attrition and making it through 162 games and making all the way to title and winning the World Series. Yeah, we won it, but it wasn't a true full season. That's like winning a Super Bowl in a strike season. Like I'm glad we won it, but I'd rather win a full season. Yeah, and I know Robbie said, yeah, we lost to the cheaters, but we still lost. Like they didn't take it away from them. But no, we need to win this one, win a couple more. I'd like to see 5 titles. Is what I would like to see.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Funny guy. Well, I'm going to look at Mike differently from the rest of his life.
I hold a high expectation for our Dodgers because, again, we talked about it, I don't know, a few pods ago where we won 11 out of the 12 division titles, right? But, I would like to see 7 of the last 12 World Series titles in our pocket.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm not saying that, I don't know. I feel like we've gotten there and we couldn't get over the hump several times, and we need to do it again this time, and I think it just validates the team that's been built over the last several years. But to answer your question, no.
Okay.
I respect it, and I'll acknowledge that we won a title, but it's a paper title to me.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I'm so glad I asked that question.
So
this is going to be great material.
So when they were actually in the playoffs, like when the playoffs started in 2020, you don't think that was a tough road for them? They had to play more games. They had to win more series to get to the World Series.
But leading into it, they only had to play 65 games to get there, so it's a wash to me. It's not like they played 162 games, then more playoff series.
If you're listening to
65 games.
I need people to comment.
How about this?
And I'm going to put a poll up. Are you on Robbie's side or are you on Mike's side on the 2020 championship? I need some engagement here. Keep going, guys. Sorry.
That's it.
I think we're done.
Yeah, that's all. I don't think the playoff games hold as much merit when you played less regular season games. But, I'm not discounting that we won a title. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Dodger fan. I'm glad we have a World Series. But even if somebody else won it.
I don't think I've ever heard a Dodger fan say that that's not a real.
Well, I know. I just don't want it to be
Series,
misconstrued that I'm like.
He's not a local yokel. He's being real. He's being honest.
I'm being a sports fan.
Yeah, he's being. I appreciate that take.
All right.
If the Yankees, I don't care who would. If it wasn't an LA team,
you would have had the same thing.
Same exact thing. Win it the next year, the year after, the year before. So let's win it this year.
Got it.
Sweep.
Slow down, buddy.
All right.
Slow down.
Anyways,
this would be a good time to remind everybody to click that like and subscribe button. Help us spread like a virus.
Good stuff, guys.
Like a virus.
There you go.
You can find us on X and Twitter. X is Twitter. Sorry, you got me all discombobulated because I was getting the evil eye from Matthew McConaughey over there.
All right. You're gonna get it for a while.
You discounted his last championship. That kind of hurts.
That hurts a lot, dude.
I'm I don't know. I'm just a purist of sports, and I'm turning into our folks, and I don't like change. We talked about it, analytics and all that stuff.
Please don't be the guy on his porch screaming at clouds, bro.
Oh, I won't be.
He might be, actually. Don't forget, we're also on YouTube if you want to see our pretty faces, especially when Mike is, destroying our championships. Go check out our YouTube page. Max, there's a read for you. Are you ready for it?
Player Spotlight was brought to you by Roger Brain Media, the up-and-coming podcast company delivering top-quality content across all podcast platforms. From sports entertainment to in-depth movie and TV reviews, Roger Brain Media is your go-to for fun and exciting content. Don't miss out. Visit their Patreon page at patreon.com/RogerBrainMedia to support this dynamic new company and be part of something special. Subscribe now and get ready to have your brain truly entertained. And let me add this, that Patreon page, we have a lot of Be Real content. We have some crazy conversations that don't make it to the podcast, and it covers across all sports. So
yeah, we'll get some reels
Sign
out. We'll get some reels coming up shortly, right, Max, on our YouTube stuff.
oh,
And
always, as always.
I'll start blabbing out more about my sports knowledge,
There you go.
my array of sports knowledge
There it is.
outside of the Dodgers.
Boom.
Boom.
All right. So really quick, we touched on Gonsolin a little bit. I think I feel like we're going to hear something about Gonsolin today, if you're listening to this podcast. I feel like he's going to be an option in the bullpen. He was so close to starting before the season ended. I think having him as even if he's not going to be a safety net for Flaherty or Yamamoto or if anybody who has a bad game, being able to have him come in and pitch a couple extra innings is a better option than Honeywell or Landon Knack. So I think we might hear something about Gonsolin.
Robbie, let me ask you this. We have if we end up in a bullpen game.
Oh, it's happening.
You start Gonsolin? I would.
If we have a bullpen game, I
would start him.
I would still do an opener. I would match up your first three guys with your best pitcher. I like when they do that with pitchers that that you're unsure of. I didn't mind them doing that with Kopech. It just didn't work out.
Both times. I didn't think he did well at all starting.
Brazier did good one time and did bad the second time.
Yeah.
But if you match them up well in the beginning and you get through those three guys and then you put in say it's Gonsolin and Gonsolin goes
and
at
like
least
the third?
it gives you 2 or 3 innings, goes through their lineup 1.5 or 2 times depending on if he's crisp or if he's not
Get
crisp.
us into the 6th inning.
I would do that, and then you really rely on the bull. I mean, just give you 2 innings to be honest with you, because if you do a real bullpen game that they did against San Diego, and now you've got Vessier back, you might have Gratterall, which hopefully we find out very soon if that's a possibility. You put that in with Kopech and Hudson and Bonda and Phillips.
Joe Kelly.
Nope, Joe Kelly. Whoa. Kelly is not going to be pitching. Who else am I missing here? Trinan. Like those guys, you can get 1 inning out of those guys. What I named 6, 7 solid bullpen pieces along with Brazier. And then you add in, say it is Gonsolin. I mean, there's your game right there. I think it's definitely doable. So I think we'll hear something about Gonsolin. I really do.
I hope so.
I really do. I also really hope so, because I would just like to get someone with a little bit more experience in there pitching a little bit longer. If we need to go that route, I feel like he's the best. He's the best option that could be an option. Let's just say that, because everybody else is not coming back. He's the only option as far as like starting pitcher that could actually happen.
Yeah, you're spot on. I think he is a key wild card pitcher that we could use if he's available. I think that would be a welcome addition.
Yeah,
and I think I think that'd be a big problem if again, as long as he's not too rusty, but he'd be a good option.
Yeah. All right, so Miguel Rojas, I really hope he is not an option. I'm hearing that he needs surgery and he's trying to battle through something just to get on the playoff roster. What Tommy Edmonds did is guaranteed. I'm going to rephrase this. What Tommy Edmonds and Kike Hernandez did in the San Diego and the Mets series is basically make it so there's no spot for Miguel Rojas to come back. The only reason why Miguel Rojas would come back or that he is because of his defense. If he can't move,
he'd be a bench player at best, anyways.
But who would you have him pitch hit for?
Well, nobody. You're spot on.
There's nobody. So if his defense isn't there, there's no reason for him to try to muscle through some kind of an injury that he's going to need surgery on, because he's not going to play better defense than Edmonds. I think when Rojas is healthy, he's a better defensive player, but not by much. Tommy Edmonds is a pretty good shortstop, and he's also he's a better hitter than Miguel Rojas. So I think his bat counters Rojas's defense. So I'm anticipating that Rojas is not going to be on the playoff roster, and that he is going to be sitting out the
World Series.
He's going to be sitting out the World Series. Edmonds definitely, when he wins the MVP for the NLCS, that basically guaranteed it. That there's no way that there's a position for him. It's not needed.
So if Rojas was healthy, he'd go to short. You put Edmonds in center?
I would put Edmonds back in center, and then I would put Kike at second.
And I would Lux at short?
I wouldn't play Lux at all.
What I'm saying is, do you put Rojas at short? Is that what you're saying? So what I'm saying,
I
if
guess
Rojas is, so what I'm alluding to is if Rojas was healthy enough to play, because the challenge we have right now, and it's a good problem to have, is both Kike Hernandez and Tommy Edman are playing lights out baseball right now. They need to be in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I'm the only person I think is a movable piece would be Lux, but Lux was hitting also, so I don't think there's a spot for Miguel Rojas even if he was healthy. Let's just say that because of the bats that Kike and Edmonds and even Lux, the way they're swinging the bats, like there's no spot for Rojas. There's just not, and that's only good for the Dodgers, to be honest with you. Remember, Rojas wasn't supposed to. I mean, Rojas was great this season. Don't get me wrong. This is probably the best he's hit. I think might have been in his career. If we were to go look through his stats, he played solid defense, but he wasn't supposed to be the starting shortstop. So he wasn't supposed to be the starting shortstop last year.
No, he played his way into the role.
No. Somebody got hurt. That's how he got the role. Lux got
hurt. You're right.
Lux was supposed to be the starting shortstop last year.
But this year he played well enough to. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, no,
I'm wrong. You are right.
Betts got hurt. That's why he became the shortstop. He was never been supposed to be the starting shortstop.
Injuries got him a spot to play.
Injuries got him a spot to play twice.
All right. So I want to ask one other lineup question, Robbie. So if Lux is healthy, Kike's healthy, obviously, and you got Edman. Does that mean Edman goes to center?
No, Edman's just shortstop.
So you put Kike in center?
Yeah, Kike's your center fielder.
So Kike in center.
Kike plays good center field. But Kike was a center fielder for Boston.
I'm asking the question for our listeners here. So we got Kike in center.
Mm-hmm.
Lux where?
He can only play second base.
And Edman at short.
Mm-hmm.
And that put Muncy at third, Freeman at first, right?
As long as Freeman. So that's my next thing is Freeman.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So Robert said Freeman is 100% starting first base in game one. This is good news only. In my opinion, this is good news only if Freeman can actually hit and play solid defense. I really liked the way that the lineup actually looked. Let me rephrase this. When Freeman is healthy, he's an MVP player. Obviously, you want him in the lineup. He plays really good defense. He can pick the ball. He's one of the better hitters on the team. You know, if you had to rank your hitters, he's in the top 3 conversation with Betts and Ohtani. But if he is not healthy and he's hobbling around and he could barely get to first base, and all you're doing is risking him getting injured again, I am in favor of let the guy sit out a couple games. Let him sit out first game and the second game. That means he gets another day of rest. So maybe he's a more reliable player in game 3 moving forward for the rest of the series. He just basically had a week off, correct? I don't know. I've had sprained ankles that irritated me for months. So what kind of injury he has on his ankle, like who's to say where it's at right now?
He might need surgery.
You never know. He might need surgery. But if he's at risk right now, like if you're going to play him game 1 and see how he does, and you think like the first wrong step he makes or any step that he does is just going to re-injure him or is going to make him a liability on defense or he's not going to be able to hit well, and then all of a sudden he's not playing game 2 and game 3 because he re-aggravated it, I'm saying give him an extra couple days to see if it can get even healthier. Because ankles, sometimes, just those extra couple days can make the difference. If he's already not 100%, why not? The defense looked pretty good, with the exception of obviously the tough play that Chris Taylor had to make at second base. And Chris Taylor's not starting game 1, right? So
what? Okay,
so your defense would be Muncy would then move over to first.
Okay.
Then you've got Kike at third.
All right.
Then you've got Lux at second. Then you've got Edmonds at shortstop, and then you'd have Paez in center field. But I'm not a big fan of Paez in center field.
I'm not either.
However, his bat has come alive. He's hitting the ball pretty well. It's not a bad option right now. So as long as he's not chasing the bad pitches, I'm just saying I think that would be a better lineup than a hurt Freeman. I would rather have a healthier Freeman in game 3 for the rest of the series than a banged up Freeman that is a liability throughout the entire series. That's all I'm saying. That's the only thing that I want to say about that little section right there.
He's got to be able to hit. If he can't hit and get meaningful at bats for us, then he's got to sit.
Yeah. See, but the same thing's got to go with defense, dude. And here's the thing also.
He doesn't move that much on defense.
But you need a guy who can pick the ball and move and stretch and kind of get to the ball and stuff like that.
I get it.
And as much as I like Muncy's not the greatest third baseman. I think I think Muncie's a better third baseman than a lot of people give him credit for. But you need a first baseman on the other end that's going to be able to pick those balls when they're in the dirt. Someone's going to be able to stretch out when the ball's high. And Edmonds has kind of thrown the ball a little wild too. So you just need to have someone that's got the mobility to go and get the ball and not worried about if the guy goes and gets the ball, if he's going to re-aggravate his ankle. You know what I mean?
Well, let's just hope he's 100% and he balls out.
Yeah, that's my hope.
Yeah, mine too.
That's my hope. That's the dream.
That's the Dodgers' hope.
Okay, so I think we've touched already on the keys to success. Look, keys to success is don't swing at bad pitches, hit your pitch. Don't give the guys anything. Don't give the other team anything to hit, and just play smart baseball. Bottom line. Can everybody agree to that? Mike, can you agree to that? We don't need to ask Max what he agrees to right now.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
I want to get Max's take on how he sees the series going.
Hold on, before that, I want to know who your thoughts for World Series MVP if it's the Dodgers.
Me?
Yeah.
I honestly think that it's going to be Betts.
Ooh, nice.
I think it's going to be Betts. If the Dodgers win, it's going to be Betts. Who I really want it to be?
Teoscar?
No.
That's
really want it to be Kike.
Oh.
Like, I really want it to be Kike.
That would
because Kike would have got it in Kike would have won one of the series. Like in 2017, I think he would have gotten the MVP.
I would like to see that too. My bet's on Teoscar Hernandez to be World Series MVP.
He needs a bounce back after that.
That would have been mine, but
yeah, NL Championship Series. He needs a bounce back.
Well, I mean, he looked pretty good in Game 6.
Well, if the Dodgers find a way to win, it'll be I'm going chalk Ohtani to set because he's so good of an amazing player. It's only natural for him to add that to his legacy. So
okay,
there you go.
All right, Max. So if the Yankees win the World Series, who are you picking as your MVP?
If the Yankees win the World Series, because I only see one path for the Yankees to win the World Series, and that's through pitching. So if the Yankees win the World Series, Garrett Cole he has to basically be Madison Bumgarner for the Yankees, and pretty much I need 2 wins and, Game 7, if possible, come in and close the door. I mean, he's really that good. And because that lineup, the Dodgers lineup is extremely formidable. I'm not a big fan of the Yankees lineup. I don't think if the Yankees go into a slugging match with the Dodgers, they will lose. The Yankees have to rely on their solid starting pitching. And, I'm an Aaron Boone guy. He's done great work with that bullpen. They're not a lot of big names, but they've been performing. So if the Yankees win, it's because of the pitching. So the person who will carry them would be Garrett Cole. It's not traditional. I know it's usually a hitter, but there have been World Series where pitching has won it for them. So,
quick tidbit: Aaron Boone's a USC graduate, and Dave Roberts went to UCLA.
Yeah, Garrett Cole was UCLA too.
I'm a USC fan, FYI. But
there you go.
All right,
anyways,
Mike, who do you got
for what?
If Yankees win the World Series?
Juan
who do you
Soto.
got? Yeah.
Ooh, so you're trying to make him get there's a limit to how much this guy can make here. Come on, guys.
Why do you think it's Juan Soto?
I just think he's got the swagger and he plays big game baseball.
Okay.
He just comes up in big moments, but at the same time, you could say the same thing for Stanton too. But
will they pitch to them?
Competitively, I hope we have the swagger, the moxie to go after him.
Why? I just told you the Yankees lineup is subpar after those guys. If it was me, I'll tell you right now, I'm not throwing them anything reasonable. You can get on. You can walk. Go ahead.
For me, Max, it's the competitive nature in me.
I hear you.
That if I was on the mound, like I would want to go after mano y mano, and I'd want to go after the best of the best and knock him down a notch. I think
because here Stanton, you can get him out. Him and Judge are very susceptible to sweepers and sliders, right? Especially low and away. But if you're challenging with every pitcher makes a mistake.
Yeah.
If you throw those guys a mistake, it's out of the stadium. So why even challenge them, bro?
And we made some bad mistakes. In earlier series with Padres. So I agree that I think there's 2 sides of it. So on a competitive side of it, if I was a pitcher, I'd want to pitch him and strike him out. I also think it gives a little bit of a competitive advantage if you pitch around them, if it comes to a critical moment in the game to where you have to pitch them and you've pitched around them.
Yeah.
The
Make
first
Chaz
2-3 at bats.
Chisholm MVP.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If a guy like Chaz or Austin Wells beats you, hats off to him. But don't let Soto and Judge and Stanton beat you.
I got you. I just think
that's what I would do if I was a Dodger.
I'm just and it's also cost me games as a manager in Little League. It's like I'm arrogant enough to go after the number 4 hitter that's gonna, hit doubles or leave my guy in too long. But anyways, it's just a competitive nature in me. I like to see him battle rather than pitch around people.
Robbie, who's your guy?
I think it's Soto. And the reason why I think it's Soto is because, one, he's got a really good eye. Like, I think he leads the league in walks. Like, you can.
He doesn't chase bad pitches.
He doesn't chase bad pitches. But, however, he's also, when he does chase, he hits the ball still. He's very good at hitting bad pitches. Like, a lot of the times when he was with San Diego and he saw him with the Nationals, and then the very, very few games I've seen him with the Yankees, highlights or whatever, it seems like he loves to hit the ball high and outside. It's not in the strike zone, but he will hit it and it'll go for a mile. So if he's locked in, he can hit anything. And that's what, like, you can't really pitch around him because he'll still hit it if he wants to. When Judge is not locked in, you could pitch around Judge.
Judge hasn't really had a great postseason.
He hasn't, but also it's Judge. Like, it just takes 1 hit or 2 hits and he can turn it around. If you're in the postseason long enough, you're going to figure out how to play in the postseason. So now he's been in it as long as he's ever has been. So he could have a turnaround. I think same thing with Carlos Stanton could keep on fire, but I think you can pitch around those guys. Soto's the only guy I think you can't pitch around because he'll take the walk. I don't think those other guys will take the walk, but if he doesn't want to walk, he'll hit the ball. And so I think that's really the main guy you got to fear. At least for me, if I'm the manager, if I had to pick the kryptonite out of those whole teams, the kryptonite would be Juan Soto. And then same thing going back, Max, you said Garrett Cole, that would be your MVP because you guys are going to go with pitching. I think the way the Dodgers hit, I'm hoping that the Dodgers hitters are his kryptonite because they don't chase balls out of the strike zone. So if he wins, that means that their game plan goes completely wrong and they are swinging at bad pitches and they're giving games to him. So that's really the only way I can see that path working out for Garrett Cole becoming the MVP.
I have a question for the both of you.
Mm.
Garrett Cole doesn't throw a lot of pitches outside strike zone as his strikeout pitch.
From what I'm reading, strikes, his main thing is he's a chase pitcher. He relies on them chasing pitches outside of the strike zone.
Not, man, I'm telling you, he's not like throwing he has a ridiculous knuckle curve. His fastball, he paints it extremely well. Like,
we should watch the game together.
He gets a lot of strikeouts. He gets a lot of strikeouts and a lot of soft contact on pitches that are strikes.
Good pitchers good pitchers are the ones that get soft contact.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that last through the lineup many times.
Okay, I got a question for the two.
If they hit them, the Yankees have no chance.
Is there more pressure on the Los Angeles Dodgers to win this series or the New York Yankees?
It's Dodgers.
100% Dodgers.
Dodgers are supposed to be here. The Yankees, it's questionable.
Yankees had one of the easiest paths I've ever seen to get to the World Series.
Dodgers also signed a guy for $700 million.
So okay, so let me ask you this, Max. That it's well known that Yankee fans are diehard and hold the Yankees to a high standard. If they don't win this series against the Dodgers, are they going to be held accountable? Or are you going to say, well, Dodgers were the better team? It's okay that we lost to them.
Let me explain something to you, bro. Even if the Yankees win this World Series, right? Hear me out. Win this World Series.
Boone's fired.
I give a few weeks, maybe a month or two, and the critics are right back at it because they'll be right back at like, oh, you got to re-sign Soto. Oh, we won, but the path was easy. Oh, we won, but we had so many holes in the lineup. Who's going to be the first baseman? Who's going to play third base? Who's going to play in left field? And this is after they win. it's still because it's the fandom out there is different. I would love for you guys to just spend a week and you would see what I'm talking about.
No way, man. I've seen the rats you guys have. There's no way.
I will tell you this: you're going to be having to find a way to replace Juan Soto.
Dodgers are making a play. They always make a play.
Dodgers.
He's not coming here.
Hold on, time out. Dodgers made a play for everybody. They always make a play for some people, from Bryce Harper to Otani. They always check in on every free agent who's really good.
Yeah, but I don't think they don't.
You never know. You never know.
We don't have a place for him.
Yeah, it's called left field. Would you Teoscar's a free agent. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know that. But so, I want Teoscar back.
Maybe they want Soto back there. I'm just saying, because from what I heard, it's Yankees, Mets, Giants, Dodgers, and a wild card team that you never know who, a crazy owner.
I think
those big guys are a lock to check in with Boris.
I think Teoscar wants to be a Dodger and wants to be a Dodger long term. I think.
He wants to, but what happens if the organization can get Juan Soto at a deferred price like they did with Yamamoto and Otani? Why wouldn't they do that?
We're going to defer your money 20 years from now.
Because I don't think
pay off that guy, then you get your money.
Because I don't think Soto would stick around the Dodgers long term. I think he'd bounce after 2 or 3 years, and I think Teoscar
contract changes that.
I think Teoscar may stay for a while, 5-6 years.
I don't think Soto's attitude's perfect for the Dodgers.
Agreed. That too. That's another challenge. There's already enough egos. He wants to be the guy.
He's got like the cocky ego, which I'm not really too big fan of.
I don't think Roberts would care for him. I think it'd be a tough.
We'll see.
Hall of Famer Roberts.
No.
This is one thing, dude.
Did you see? Okay.
Dude, Roberts is going to the Hall of Fame, buddy.
As a manager.
Yeah, definitely not as a player. He steal a base?
We gotta talk about that, man.
You brought it up.
They got a stupid documentary. Someone sent me, are you watching that? Hell no.
You know what? It's I'm impressed by his numbers, but I still stick to titles, man. Like
so Roberts needs this one for sure.
Absolutely 100%.
What?
Roberts needs to win this World Series.
Roberts won a damn World Series. You guys argued about 2020. Aaron Boone hasn't won anything. People want him fired.
How long has Aaron Boone been the manager for the Yankees?
What, 6-7 years now?
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Dude, he sucks.
There you go. So he needs it more than Roberts.
One thing we didn't actually really talk about, it's getting pretty late in this podcast, but we didn't talk about the rivalry that the Dodgers have with the Yankees. So
it used to be a thing.
And the reason why it hasn't been a thing is because they haven't seen each other in the World Series since 1981. But
ironically enough, who pitched in that World Series? Fernando Valenzuela.
We talked about that.
I'm just saying. Fernando Mania.
I just think it's kind of cool because it's something that I've always wanted to see my entire life. Dodgers versus Yankees. Yeah. Because that history was brought up with me and my family talked about it all the time, and it's something that got lost
because historic.
They haven't been. It's historic. So you got the Dodgers and you've got the Giants, and obviously the Yankees have the Red Sox. But the biggest rivalry, at least in a championship World Series, in my opinion, has always been the Dodgers versus Yankees.
And I think in the entire history of baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is pretty darn exciting. And I guarantee it's iconic. You're going to see probably some documentary video to open up the series, basically breaking down not only the history of them playing each other, but also that rivalry leaving, Brooklyn, going to LA and still trying to continue it and so forth and so forth. Basically, the Dodgers got spanked by the Yankees a lot in the World Series. Until 55 when they
still talk about that in New York. Dodger fans in New York who are most of them are now Mets fans, but they still talk about that 55. They hold it over Yankee fans. Yeah, because it's just like 04 with the Red Sox. It was a big deal.
Yeah. Interesting.
I just think I hope that, look, I would love it if the Dodgers go in and they sweep it. For sure. I would love that. But I think what I would like even more, even though I would hate it in the moment, would be a back and forth series that you can remember and talk about years and years later. Because if the competition is real, the teams do stack up pretty well against each other. as much as we have our opinions on who has the better pitching rotation, who has the better bullpen, who has the better starting lineup, defense, whatever. They do line up pretty well. They line up, in my opinion, they line up better than the Dodgers did against the Mets. And obviously they line up better than the Yankees against Cleveland. So this has the makings to be a really, really good series. And I hope it lives up to that. And I hope, at the end of the day, I still hope the Dodgers win it, but I would still like it to be a really good back and forth, offensive heavy sometimes, good pitching some other times, but have the drama, have the dramatic, have this, like, just have those moments in baseball, at least that I love so much.
You're such a nice fan. Mike, please fix this. Go ahead. I want to hear your take on that.
On what? I want a 7-game series and one.
What is wrong with you people?
Tough for him.
You damn LA people are too soft. You shouldn't want none of that nonsense. You want to sweep 10-zip every game, get it in and out, done. Who cares about this nostalgia? Oh, going back and forth, game 7. I hope it's a nail biter, guys. What is this, 1945? 22 skidoo? Come on, man.
I'm surprised that you don't want it to be close. Well,
you're a timeout, dude. If you're going to talk like that, we're going to put you on timeout.
This is nonsense. I thought Mike was going to come back and be like, heck no, I don't want no close series. I want to bash your brains in.
Well, so it's okay. So that's a loaded question for me because I love, and it's like I watch ESPN Classic all the time. I love close, tight, exciting series.
Can you cue the Field of Dreams music while he talks? Keep going.
Sounds like.
The love of baseball.
Okay, you want to hear it?
Romanticizing.
I want us to beat the crap out of you guys and sweep it.
There you go. None of this. Oh, I hope it's a back and forth classic baseball. Oh, nail biter. Get the hell out of here with that nonsense.
I think the
most I want is a gentleman's sweep of the Dodgers.
No
okay,
gentleman's sweep.
The most I said, just to make you guys be happy, you guys get one. Come on, man. This guy over here romanticizing baseball.
The only reason why I say that,
basketball and football to get to. Let's get this over with.
The only thing I say about
hockey.
the reason why I say it should be a close series or go 7 and be an instant classic is because I think Major League Baseball needs it.
Baseball, they get in their own way.
Baseball needs it. And
as a Dodger fan, we should beat the crud out of them.
Thank you. That's what people want to hear.
Do you think that this series will break records as far as watched? At least in the last 10 years?
Yes, because of the Japanese fan base.
Oh, 100%.
Japanese fan base for sure.
It's the two. Yeah, that will do it. Yeah.
All right.
Who cares about that? I don't care about that. I don't care if 15 people are watching. I just want number 28.
I'm going to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
Can we get the gosh darn ticket prices down to a reasonable level so blue collar people can go watch our Dodgers? We were with them all year long in all those seats or all those games.
How much is standing room?
Like $1,200.
Damn.
Parking's like $250.
Oh man.
That's why you need to see those places. What's the name of those theaters I've been talking about?
Oh yeah, shh. Don't bring that up. I got an idea for that. Entrepreneur, shh.
Oh yeah, you got money? Why aren't you buying tickets to the Dodger game then, dude?
No.
Because he wants to buy an asset to buy future Dodger games.
Yes, correct. That's it.
We won't talk
I have an idea about that.
Is it going to make me rich soon? Because I need money. Is it going to make me rich soon?
I need money too.
All right. That's
so we can buy the Dodgers.
Oh, good luck with that.
We can't afford that, man. I think the guy playing for him right now is going to buy him in like 10 years.
Probably.
All right. I think that's going to do it for this edition of Talkin Dodgers.
Let's go Dodgers.
Which was brought to you by Roger Brain Media. Go check out that Patreon page. If you're a fan, you must love this content. Go check out the Patreon page. Help support this growing media empire. All of your contributions help us make great content, keep the lights on, pay the rent, buy some coffee, stay awake. You
get us into a Dodger game.
You know the deal. Let's just, let's have a good, clean, clean game.
All right, guys.
Are you going to say pretty again?
No,
don't say pretty.
Good. Let's have a good, handsome
dominate.
Jesus, dude.
Thank you. Dominate.
Dominate.
God, I got to really.
It's not Little League, Robbie.
Domination.
Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you guys next time.
Tani off at the plate.
We'll talk to you Thursday.
High heat.
I like it.
Yeah, come on.
Goodbye.
Later.